What's this?
Hello, welcome back to the Freak Show. Bumpy McSquigums here. I want to thank you all for joining me as I continue with my Let's Play of Torment Tides of Numenera. We're going to go back to the real world. Right. Yay! Alright.
Much better.
Something's much better. I don't know what. There was some weird little thing down there. I don't know. I'm a little bit scared. But we defeated our mind, sort of. No, we didn't really fight. We just kind of... We were alive. We survived our mind, I guess. Is the way to look at it. Alright, and we're back. And he still needs to rest desperately, but he hasn't done so just yet. Let's talk to Kazmine and crew. Ah, you returned to us, and you have completed your task. What did you see inside of the clock? Tell us! She is nearly breathless with excitement. I met Kamos, Tiku, and Valon. Oh no, the blue tide is... I don't know if that's good or bad. Disappointment creases her face. I know these names. They're not new to us. They were favored servants of your creator, cast-offs who served him well, indeed. Deviatiku, sure, brought the Order of Truth to Sagus Cliffs, but they betrayed their holy trust and disappeared. He sighs. Nevertheless, we will honor our arrangement. You sought answers about who might repair the resonance chamber. We know that your sire built it with the aid of another cast-off, still unknown to us. Perhaps one of your siblings might know where to find him, or her. I know of only one other cast-off still in the city, the albino assassin Matkina. They call her the White Death. She wore a camouflage cloak and brought destruction in her wake. The last I heard of her, she was in the underbelly. He restrains a shudder. Seek her, but be wary.
Making a note.
Farewell, cast-off. I must consult with things. Can we rest now? Is that a thing that's possible? Because I would like to rest, please. The cold calculating Jack. You return, revered one. How may we assist you today? Do you have any supplies you could share with me? Share? Oh dear. We are a small group and not wealthy. We exist on donations, curios, and the occasional great gift from one of your siblings. For instance, we had a weapon once used by the Chalcedon? Sure, the Chalcedon. I don't know what that means, but okay. The commander of... She catches herself. My point is that we require some payment for our wares. Good to know. What's that thing? A cortical shunt. Ooh. +1 training level and deception. +2 damage on esoteric attacks. Huh. It's a bonded artifact. Well, that's interesting. Alright, don't really want to... It's fine, but hold on. Can you tell me about the beliefs of your church? Can you tell me about other cast-offs? I would like to sleep here. That's the one we want to do. Who did you say could lead me to repair? Alright, so we already know that. Let's rest. We would be honored if you would choose to stay with us. We do request a small donation of 40 shins to offset our costs. For what? Me sleeping here? What kind of cost is that? He shrugs. We must rely on donations, even from our revered visitors. Well, fine. We need to rest. Alright, that does feel better. Just a reminder, lad, Tybir says, catching your sleeve. Ris will be dead by the day after tomorrow if we don't do anything to save him. Okay, so we have all sorts of things that we need to be doing right now. I'm not sure which one or if any are particularly important right now. Oh, there's a lot of stuff to still do and look at and learn. However, this place is huge. It doesn't seem... Alright, let me rephrase that. This place has a lot of stuff jammed into it. I can't necessarily say it's huge, because that's not true or accurate. What is... Alright, we need to go figure out what this thing is. I've been curious. I'm sure you all have been curious as well for a very long period of time. Feel a slight tugging on the corner. Oh, look, I don't want to look at something. I want to come down here. Can we move, please? There we go. Alright, let's see what this thing is.
Yes.
You inch closer to the lattice of energy that holds the creature, and as you lean in, the ugly glaive with a sledgehammer slung over his shoulder shouts at you. Oi, no gawking for free. Pay el quinto or get gone. He glowers at you, hand reaching for the haft of his maul or his hammer until you step away from the cage.
Naturally.
Do you know who I am? I will end your existence. Let's go talk to the pointy-hatted guy. In front of you is a weary traveler whose grim visage is mostly obscured by a pointy hat. Upon closer inspection, the lines on his face indicate he has seen much and has many tales to tell. Hello there, friend, he says. Here to see the... what? The Nichthemeron? Sure, the Nichthemeron. My friend in the cage over there, or are you just looking to spend a word or two? I have some questions about your whatever the thing. He's far from mine, friend, El Quinto says with a raspy chuckle, as you'll likely see if you get too close to his cage. He tips his hat to you. Go on, ask your questions. What is a Nichthemeron anyway? A biomechanical union of stubborn curiosity and frothing malice, he says. Who made them, no one can say, but they cannot be trusted or befriended, cross their paths, or thwart their incomprehensible whims, and they'll kill you, if they can. Wait, you called the creature a he? Is it male? Could be. Could be female, or genderless, or many-gendered. Who can say? I have our friend imprisoned, and I feel better about that fact if I don't call him it. Okay. How did you capture it? Or him, or that thing? I suppose you could blame luck, he says. Little early to call it good or bad, though. His eyes seek the sky as he begins his story. I was working on, well, call it a trap, in a valley through some nameless ruin. Canadu was off hunting for dinner, and I work in a daze, always do when I'm concentrating. A smile flits across his face. Near sunset, the trap was still in pieces, and I heard Canadu roaring my name. I turned just in time to see our guest bearing down on me. The creature's volley of molten energy cracked off the personal barrier I'd left active while building the trap, but I knew it couldn't hold. Then Canadu leapt from the valley edge onto the Nichthemeron's back, bashing it with his hammer. It shrieked, and then... well, night fell, and the creature went still. El Quinto shrugs. I worked, granted a touch frantically, I admit, to finish the trap. It hadn't been designed for our guest, but as you can see, he gestures at the creature, it has worked. And how did you get the creature into the city? Now that's a fair question, he says, casting a lazy glance back at the cage, but a longer answer, and not as interesting as I'd like. So let's just say that the trap is more, collapsible than it appears. Okay, well, what do you plan on doing with the Nichthemeron when you're done showing it off? Well, we're likely to release it and run as if every kind of demon in the world is after us. We're not trappers, see? We're explorers, and we were only in this to save up some coin for a journey across a long patch of ground. He rubs the back of his neck. Not that our motives make much difference to our guest. He'll want to boil our skins once we let him go. And, well, I can't say I blame him. I want to ask about something else. I'm looking for someone who can repair a complicated device. Well, it must be in desperate shape if you're patrolling the circus. Talking to strangers, he says. Do you have a piece of the device? It might be that I can offer my opinion. Can you come look at the device? Canadu would never forgive me if I left him alone, he says. He might end up having to talk to someone. When that happens, he's in a mood for days. He rubs the back of his hand across his mouth. I take it that means you don't have it on you. Nope. Can't help you fix something I've never seen, he says. Sorry, friend. Well, I want to see the creature up close. Your curiosity does you credit, friend. It'll only cost you 25 shins. That's too much. I'm the only one in line. How about 10? Well, we're not very charismatic, nor are you. What about you? You're a bit more charismatic. Let's go with 80. Hey, it worked. El Quinto surveys you with an unreadable gambler's stare, stroking his chin with a cracked thumb. Finally, he smiles. Always nice to meet a fellow barterer. he says, and takes your money. Visit our guest whenever you're ready. Alright. Worth every shin, I promise, he says, pocketing your admission fee. Visit our guest whenever you're ready. Alright, well, let me go and talk to him.
Doing it now.
The cage in which the creature floats is a simple frame that contains a shimmering, nearly transparent cylinder of energy. It emits a low hum, barely audible, that sets your teeth on edge. The container is a delicate filigree of ornate materials with no apparent controls, but surely they must be hidden somewhere in the traceries and protrusions of the wirework. You approach the cage cautiously. The monster within looks like a fungal blob mated with muscular ichthyoid. I've got nothing. Ichthyoid? Sure. Its multiple tentacles terminate in syringes, okay, needles and injectors. This mass sits atop and is integrated with a floating orb of some type. It seems to be both mechanical and biological, with one system flowing smoothly into the next. The creation of some mad nightmare. Yeah. The energy field darkens protectively and automatically as the creature throws itself at its walls, thrashing and striking mindlessly with its needle-tipped tentacles. The darkening is almost a strobe-like effect. Even as you watch, one of the tentacles coils back and blasts furious plasma at the walls of the cage. The cage holds, but the shields dim to prevent any radiation from the blast from escaping. Let's examine the cage. The cage appears to be made of a mixture of synth, spun strong glass, and a lightweight metal intricately embroidered to create mind-warping patterns, evocative and strange. Energy shifts and flickers among the crevices, and somehow being shaped by the form of the materials. Your closer examination reveals a small panel worked cunningly into the frame of the cage. Some of the filigrees here are worn and smooth, as if slowly eroded by friction. Perhaps these are the controls. Let's see. I don't think we should touch the cage. Let's do it anyway. You reach out to the cage, your fingers hovering over some of the cunningly worked materials, and then you lay your fingers on the cage. You close a circuit in the energy somewhere, or you become part of it, and strange energies jolt through your body. The shock hurls you away from the cage. Ooh. If that carks you, you've got no one to blame but yourself, you stupid Tulk. That's what I assumed was going to happen. I figured we'd get wrecked by that. Oh, looks like we have level ups too. Cool. Well, we're not done yet.
On my way. Thanks for getting rid of Calestige. You have no idea what it's like traveling with her. Though I suppose you've had a taste, even from that short trial.
I wasn't done with the... He scuffs his toe into the ground and looks away. I'm going to say this once. I'm not much of a talker, but, you know, I have questions about your identity. That you're willing to bring me on says something about you. What it is, I'm not sure yet. Still, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'll help you where I can. Is that clear? Yes. So, that's settled. Alright. We've got things to do, right? Let's continue on. I want to interact. Here we go. What are you? If anything, the creature redoubles its efforts to strike at you, its limbs a flurry of rage. How did you come to be here? It draws away from the edge of the energy field for a moment, as if gathering its thoughts, and then it launches itself at you, rebounding off the deceptive solidity of the cage. Its tentacles flail wildly, the needles at their tips glinting and oozing. Well, what can you tell me of this place, thing? A dim light builds underneath the orb at its base glowing brighter and brighter. Two tentacles stroke it, and they pull out a streamer of bright lightning. They stretch it between themselves, building in intensity, and then they hurl it at you. The walls of the cage darken instantly, and when they lighten again, you see the monster within flailing and crashing fruitlessly against its invisible walls. Can you understand me at all? The creature redoubles its efforts to strike at you. Examine the cage. Touch the smooth spots on the panel. No, that seems like a bad idea. Alright, you're welcome to look again. Alright, so that didn't go super well. We need to head to various places, really. There's still a few things left to do, a few people left to talk to, but I don't know.
Go.
Let's go over here. We have an intrigued woman. This woman listens intently to the ravings of the man on the nearby dais, hanging on every word. She gives you a hesitant smile. Can you understand it? I know he's speaking great wisdom. If only I could decipher it. What exactly is happening here? An execution, she gestures toward the man on the dais. They put the condemned into a trance, and he speaks of the wondrous things he sees. His words become tendrils of corrupted flesh, which are wrapped around his body until they crush him to death. Then the devourer of wrongs eats him. Yeah, that's not great. Why is everybody watching this? She shudders. Most are only thrill seekers and the morbidly curious, but some of us gather to hear words of the condemned. They are said to contain the most sublime truths, for they are born from dreams of death. We listen and try to understand their meaning. What if I told you he was innocent? That would be terrible, wouldn't it? But his words seem so wise. Even if that were true, it is wisdom gained through another man's pain. Can that even be called wisdom? She frowns, thinking, I suppose you're right, but I still want to hear his words. She spreads her hands. Does it matter? He's going to die no matter what I do, and what he says could be important. As important as an innocent man's life, help me save him. Wisdom can be gained without harming another. The woman hangs her head. You shame me, friend. I have put my lust for knowledge before a good man's freedom. That is not the path to enlightenment. Perhaps your way is. I will do this. Justice! The unmoved woman. Let's see if we can move the unmoved woman. This woman stands at the back of the crowd, arms crossed and eyes cool as she watches the slow execution. Unlike the others, she's also watching the people in the crowd. She shakes her head, depressing. Okay, what exactly is happening here? I know this is all going to be kind of the same, but I'm going to read it all anyway, because they each have their own take on what's happening. Another in a long series of pointless executions. She points to the man with the rope of flesh coming out of his mouth. The poor bastard they're killing is put into a trance that makes him talk a lot of nonsense and spew that pink stuff. Eventually it crushes the life out of him, and the big ugly guy eats him. It's disgusting. So why is everybody watching this? She sighs. It's what passes for entertainment in this town. People like to watch other people suffer. It takes their mind off their own suffering, I suppose. That's not why I'm here, though. I just got sucked in. If you find it depressing, why are you watching it? I was just walking by. I don't know why I stopped, really. Something in her manner makes it feel like there's more to it than that. You stopped because you were a good person at heart, and it moved you. You stopped because you want to do something. You want to be the one to make a difference. That one. She stands up straighter but says, Me? What can I do? I'm nobody. All I can do is watch. Silver and red raised, okay. Many in the crowd are ready to act. They outnumber the levies 4-1. All you have to do is lead them. You're right, let's talk about something else. She looks around at the others you convinced and seems to gather her courage. You're right, something must be done. With numbers on our side, we can do it. She steps forward. I'm ready. Didn't I only get 3? Why is it taking so long? Spectator, intrigued woman, excited man. This guy. This man watches the execution with fevered eyes. He shakes his head, or his fist. Traitor! Traitor to the city! As you approach him, he gives you a savage grin. Nothing better than to see a traitor die, eh? What exactly is happening here? Yeah, I know, guys. Justice, the Sagas Cliffs way. He jerks a thumb at the dais. We make traitors and murderers spill their guts and strangle them with it. We also force them to speak their nightmares to scare other criminals into going straight. He laughs, and if that doesn't do it, then knowing that the devourer of wrongs is going to eat your body after you die, well, makes me sick just thinking about it. Why is everybody watching this? To see justice done, he thumps his chest. If somebody hurts my city, I want to see them hurt twice as bad. And getting crushed to death by your own words is as bad as it gets. Do you truly care if he's a traitor, or do you just like watching men tortured to death? He snarls at you. How dare you? It's justice that's important to me, and protecting my city. And is justice always handed out equally in Sagas Cliffs? I'll bet the rich never pay for their crimes around here. Well, then I think you'd be interested in making sure the real traitor gets caught. There we go. Are you saying this man isn't a traitor? That he doesn't deserve to be up there? His eyes narrow. What do you know that I don't? This poor fool took the fall for somebody else. That's a mockery of Sagas' pride. We should free him. Let's go with you, right? Well, let's see. We got 60. We got 40. 35. Oh, we got it with the 80. Alright. The man grinds his teeth thinking, then finally nods. Aye, us small fish are always taking the fall, but not this time. Sorry, guys and gals. I don't know if that came through the mic or not, but people are yelling upstairs. It's very, very noisy. The 4 people you talked into helping Ris started chanting, "Free the prisoner! Free the prisoner! Let him go! Let him go!" Spurred on by their passion, or maybe just bored, the rest of the crowd begins to pick up the chant, "Let him go! Let him go!" They advance menacingly on the levies and the overseer. The levies edge back, their normally pleasant expressions turning into uncertain frowns. The overseer points directly at you. "I saw what you did, you rabble-rouser. This is your doing. Well, I'm not risking my life to intervene in the fate of a worthless piece of belly trash. If you want him, take him." Cool. The overseer signals the levies. "Unmake the prisoner's death and retreat. He isn't worth our blood." At his order, one of the levies takes out a device like a circular mirror and squeezes its frame. The mirror spins, flashing shards of light across the death and the umbilical viscera it is wrapping around Ris, and all of it disintegrates. Soon Ris stands alone on the platform as reddish dust swirls away from him.
Making a note.
Well, that's just really, 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 really weird and disturbing in many ways. "There," cries the overseer to the crowd. Satisfied? With that, he and the levies turn and march away as the crowd surrounds the platform and cheers. "I'm a hero!" I am. I just saved that man's life. As the levies march off and the crowd disperses, Ris steadies himself, not quite recovered from his ordeal. Finally, he raises his head and focuses on you. "If you're the one who got me out of that nightmare, thank you, but where's that?" His eyes settle on Tybir. "There you are, you slippery bastard. Now, where's the money? If I went through that hell for nothing, I'll..." He chokes with emotion. 2 days, Tybir. I spilled my guts up there for 2 whole days. There's hardly anything left of me. He steps back, spreading his hands. Yeah, about the money. You see, Ris, I was hoping to get a reward for turning in the fellow who sold us that brandy without telling us about the secrets, but... But? Ris snarls. There's always a but when it comes to money, isn't there? I should have known. You said you'd pay me so I wouldn't squeal on you, and you only saved my skin to save your own. He smacks his fists together. Now I'm going to have to fight through your friend to get to you, or are you going to step out from behind him and take it like a man? Calm down, both of you. Ris, tell it from the beginning. Ris spits and then wipes his lips. There isn't much to tell. Captain Silvertongue here talked me into a dirty job, then disappeared like an abacus and left me holding the bag when it all went sour. Oh, Ris, says Tybir. Can you blame me for running when I had a chance? You would have done the same, and besides, if I hadn't, we would have both been sentenced to die, and no one to free either of us. He stabs a finger in Tybir's face. You only wanted to free me because you knew you'd be next on the block once the Devourer ate me. How would the Devourer of Wrong know that Tybir was involved? The Dendra Ohur, says Ris, consume our memories with our flesh. They know everything by the time they finished eating us, and Tybir knew I'd have plenty of memories of him. Didn't you, you coward? Who are the Dendra Ohur? Cultists who eat human flesh to gain the wisdom of the dead. That's disturbing on many levels. Ris shivers. The city's been using them as post-mortem judges for years. What was the job? Tybir said we were transporting black market booze to Emra Holios, but he didn't tell me that he'd hidden state secrets in one of the bottles using some liquid Numenera trick, which turned a slap on the wrist crime into a darned death sentence. Death sentence? Tybir says, with an uneasy grin. You're alive, aren't you? He glares at Tybir from under lowered brows. That's as may be, but you certainly seem to know where the levies were going to come calling. He looks at you. The council somehow got wind of the deal and came after us. Funny how I was the only one home when they knocked on the door. The Dower would have found you guilty. Tybir, is this true? As far as it goes, he would have learned about me if he had eaten Ris, and I did manage to escape the levies when they showed up looking for us. But I didn't abandon you, lad. He pushes his hand to his heart. Ris, I escaped the levies and saved you from the devourer of wrongs because I love you and I didn't want to see you die. You have to believe me. Do I? Ris says, cracking his knuckles. I'm with Ris on this, Tybir. You should make amends to him. He's the one who has suffered. So what do you intend to do about this, Ris? Yeah, no, I'm going to say yeah. That's right, Ris snarls, and you can start by giving me my share of the spoils. Ris, you don't know what you're talking about. I never got paid. I promise you. This isn't over, you self-serving bastard. Ris jabs a finger in Tybir's face. Hide behind your friend if you like, but he won't keep you safe forever. You're dead, Tybir. Do you hear me? Dead. Well, we accomplished a goal. And we have this very, very, very prominent, not bad person at all in our midst now, which is great. Or terrible, depending on how you look at it. Oh, what's left?
Yes.
I suppose we can come down here, talk to the few people that remain on this side, and then we can head up this way, or we can go into the underbelly. We can also go over here to some other shadowy stuff. There's still a ton to do in the town, guys and gals, and I apologize if you want me to move on and do other things, but again, I'm enjoying the story and I really want to see how it plays out, so hopefully you guys are in for the long haul and you get to enjoy this with me. Either way, that's it for this episode, folks. I will see you next time with more Torment Tides of Numenera. Until then, my name's Bumpy McSquigums. Thank you for stopping by the Freak Show, and I will see you later.